Okay, then we have this. It's a little bit older, and I know most of you are already aware of it, but if you're not, security firm is to be holding a zombie crisis scenario. So it says, forget the H1N1 pandemic. Could a future crisis arise from an outbreak of viruses that destroy brain cells and render people violently catatonic like zombies? Well, I'm sure they already have it or they're working on it. Um, we've had Russia actually come out and say they have a type weapon that can turn people into zombies. So yeah, you have the bullet company, I think Hornby, making zombie bullets. You have the government, I think it's the CDC actually talking about a zombie apocalypse and all that. But they say it seriously, but they make it like into a joke because of the zombies. But they're talking about serious situations of like survival and stuff like that. Next month, his outfit will incorporate, no kidding, zombies into a disaster crisis scenario at the company's annual counterterrorism summit in San Diego, a 5-day event providing hands-on training, realistic demonstrations, lectures, and classes geared to more than 1,000 military personnel, law enforcement, medical experts, and other government workers. Yeah, it was based off the CDC's preparedness program. It says here when they published talking about a mutated virus that quickly spreads as the government dispatches its military to maintain order while infectious disease specialists scour for a vaccine. And actually, the Navy Times in 2011 put something out called the Zombie War Deployment Guide, examined various tactics and gear that experts consider essential to wage a successful campaign on the undead. And of course, we've been seeing, down with the cannibals and stuff like that, and people want to be vampires going on in reality. And this is actually what they call it, excited delirium. So, yeah, talk about uh, sudden and seemingly inexplicable deaths of some highly agitated subjects being held in police custody. Most of the cases required to be restrained and capacitate the subject was not sufficient to cause death. They usually said it was associated with drugs, but they reported that they're not related to abused drugs, suggesting further an underlying central nervous system disorder. So, one of the symptoms of excited delirium is victims exhibit superhuman strength and are impervious to pain. This is scary, they say. Scientists find a way to erase frightening memories. So, this is good for controlling the masses as well, as far as brainwashing and mind control and stuff like that. Because you want passive, remember passive consumers don't really question anything and stuff like that. You want zombies and stuff, and you want them to forget all the bad memories and all of the victimization that they've had to gone through. I mean, to be able to see things, I guess, clearly, right? To see this, as I call it, the one true reality here, you can lose your mind, right? Especially when you're not really around other people that have that perception. So, I mean, you gotta keep your wits about you. So, but some people they may end up losing it, right? It says researchers at this university in Sweden have found that it's possible to interrupt the formation of memories during a crucial stage when they're being cemented in your brain by proteins. In fact, it seems that memories associated with fears can be replaced entirely if caught before this consolidation process can finish. So this has been taught, this has been covered in movies. I think Clockwork Orange isn't exactly like this, but this is the same area. By displaying a photograph of simultaneously administering a small electric shock, the researchers were able to induce formation of fear memory in test subjects. Then by showing half of the subjects the same photo without the shock repeatedly during the consolidation process, they were able to stop a sense of fear from being permanently associated with the picture. So yeah, it's pretty crazy though. I mean, think if they can do the opposite of it, where they can take away all your good memories and just implant bad ones. See, that's how I think, dude, with all this research, they're not actually looking to make it better, they're looking to make it worse. Like with the research that went on with the imprinting of logos, corporate logos on children. That's probably to make sure that it's working, that it's effective. Pennsylvania high school band commemorates Russian Revolution. Citizens are outraged from September 26th. Pennsylvania's new Oxford High School marching band stirred controversy earlier this week after a halftime show that commemorated the Russian Revolution included olive military-style uniforms and giant hammers and sickles. There was an immediate public outcry against the performance, prompting the superintendent to issue an apology for the display. So it says here the theme was St. Petersburg 1917. An angry parent notified Fox. They went on and they said that it was Glee meets the Russian Revolution. I'm not kidding you. They had giant hammers and sickles, and they were waving them around Who thought this was a good idea? There was no reason for Americans to celebrate the Russian Revolution. I'm sure the millions who died under communism would not see the joy of celebrating the revolution by a school 10 miles from Gettysburg. Says it would be tantamount to celebrating the music of the 1935 Berlin. If I was a Lithuanian, Estonian, or Ukrainian, I'd be a little hot. I'd be really hot. It is insulting to glorify something that does not need to be glorified in America. Then the new normal has gay old time mocking Christian conservatives from August 31st. Says we have yet another addition to the pro-gay anti-Christian genre so popular on TV these days. Apparently NBC is looking to cash in on the falsehood that abnormal is the new normal, with the series focused on a gay couple's quest to have a child via surrogate mother. So, yeah, it says here that a gay couple committed partnership in the film turned to surrogacy because they can't have a child the traditional way. And it says, when did biology become tradition? Ironic how liberals worship the altar of science until science gets in the way of their gratification. That's just tradition. They say the new normal is the brainchild of gay rights activist and wannabe pornographer Ryan Murphy. Says it wouldn't be complete without portraying a racist and bigoted conservative character. Barkin recently made news when she tweeted that she wished Hurricane Isaac would wash every pro-life, anti-education, anti-woman, xenophobic, gay-bashing, racist SOB right into the ocean. The new normal show, or pilot, did its best to contrast happy and functional gay relationships with broken and dysfunctional traditional marriages. It says here that they were vain and shallow, obsessed with aesthetics. It said Brian decided his relationship was ready to have a child when he saw a baby in the shopping mall, saying it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. I must have it, he exclaimed to David about his monumental decision. He continued by saying, honey, when I saw this miniature person whose skin was flawless, by the way, I really got it. And it says, remember the Chihuahua accessory craze. So, like they're accessories, children. A consultant from the surrogate agency told a couple that they could create the perfect embryo and then plant it in a surrogate, just like an easy bake oven, except the surrogate has no rights to the cupcake. It says Brian responded, I would like a skinny blonde child who doesn't cry. And lastly, the episode ends on an artificial happy note. Goldie has finally found a family, and Murphy has driven his point home that a family is a family, and love is love, and biology is mere tradition, and up is down. On that note, France may ban words mother and father in legal records. They said parents and nod to gay rights. They're not only poised to make gay marriage legal, it plans to expunge the words mother and father from all legal documents, reports the Telegraph. Says the words should be replaced by parents in all instances so that not to discriminate against same-sex couples. A law that will be passed by Holland will also allow gay couples to adopt. Who is to say that heterosexual couples will bring up a child better than a homosexual couple? They will guarantee the best conditions for the child's development, the Justice Minister asked the Catholic paper. So, surprisingly to me, they say 34% of the respondents in that poll said it was depressing, that story. EU Parliament wants women on the European Central Bank board. So the European Parliament wants women appointed to the Central Bank Executive Board, reports Reuters. They said, we noticed that the EU member states' nominations to some of the most important EU institutions result in appallingly monotonous lineup of nominees. Remember this article that I've covered? This is from 7/12 of this year. Gay rights is European Union entry criteria, Brussels says. The European Commission has said in a written note that respect for gay rights is a legal criteria for EU accession.